Hello for the 22nd week in Ordinary Time. Making a few adjustments in Windows 10, etc. So this is in my bedroom studios. At any rate, the idea is following God's law. And when I was a kid in our house at supper time, we would all eat together. But before that, my mother or father would always make sure that we washed our hands. And so if you came to the table with dirty hands, get out of here, wash your hands, and come back and eat with us. It was the rule of the house. It was the custom or tradition. Well, that takes place in the gospel with Jesus and the Jews washing their hands minutely or carefully, and all other kinds of different rules and regulations and traditions. But Jesus says these people do all these external things, but their heart is far from me. Jesus, that Jewish boy, man, that Palestinian Jewish carpenter who lived between, say, 6 BC and 30 AD, he had a thing about you really got to give your whole self to God and not just rules and regulations. And in our society, there are many, in our country, there are many, many rules, The Jews, the law of Moses, had 613 laws. I wonder how many of the Jewish people, really knew those 613 laws. In the Roman Catholic Church, in the Code of Canon Law, we have 1,752. How many of these laws do you all know, huh? Maybe 10 or so. I know you're supposed to support the church with money. You're supposed to go to church on Sundays and holy days. You're supposed to follow the marriage laws. We priests know that in the law of the church, you're not allowed to get married. Celibacy law. And there are, 5, 10, 15, 20 laws we might really be connected with. But Jesus wants our heart not just to follow the law. And so in the readings this morning, there's a list of sins that come out of the heart and not just because of the law. And so it quotes fornication, theft, murder, adultery, avarice, deceit, envy, slander, pride. All these, Jesus says, come out of the heart. And this is really what makes us either against the law of God or following the law of God. So often in society or legalities, we're more interested in head trips and knowledge than heart and mind. And we're called to be good, do good. This past week in this little blurb or little thing I get on the internet from Richard Rohr about Francis and the Franciscans and spiritual life, he makes an interesting comparison of Francis' writings and some of the words that he used. And he compares words like love and truth. He said in these early writings, Francis used the word loved 23 times and truth 12. And two other words, heart and mind. Francis used the word heart 42 times and the word mind once. Jesus says, these people, their hearts are far from me. Francis, in other words, doing and understanding. Doing 175 times, understanding 5. Mercy and intellect. Mercy 26 times, intellect once. Francis was a doer. He tried to do what Christ did, not just following all these laws. Of course, he had to follow some laws. In fact, he even made laws as far as if you were going to follow in his footsteps in that community that followed Jesus, called the Franciscans. But the real point of it all is it's not law, it's heart, and it's goodness. And so often we're more concerned about following the law or rationally explaining things than doing things. That's why I think in the gospel, Jesus is right on by saying, just don't do all these things because of tradition. Wash your hands, bless this, purify this, but be and do things. How about that? Have a good day.